All right, what's going on, everyone? We're back with another episode. So today, it's a really special opportunity for you guys to learn some things. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and who they represent. So have at it.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Ralph. I'm the co-founder of Palindrome Communications. We just go by the name Palindrome. And basically, we help small businesses and startups with their blog content. And we've been basically doing this for a very long time. So it's basically founded by me and my two brothers. My co-founder, Khalid, right here, is also my brother. So, yeah.
Nice. All right, and Khalid, who are you?
Yeah, my name is Khalid. I'm the second co-founder, or the other co-founder. We have another brother, a younger brother, Talha, who isn't here right now. We both have a pretty extensive background in writing. We come from writing industries, advertising industries, I moved on to business journalism soon after that. Raul went into lifestyle journalism. He had his career kind of progressed into NST, and I went into SME magazine. And we kind of eventually went out on our own, and we eventually joined forces to start writing articles and blog posts to help small businesses, smaller micro businesses in getting awareness and getting exposure.
Yeah, because especially blogs are so important. So some people, I think they may look at blogs as like, been there, done that. But blogs are so critical to the internet. I mean, not even to just small business, to the internet, because people, however you look at it, regardless if you're into video or you're into written content, they don't realize it's coming to them in the form of a blog. So that was really smart of you guys to create a business based off of something that's so prominent on the internet. My biggest question now is why? So I always like asking that question because it helps tell your story and helps draw people to you. So why blogging?
Yeah, I mean, like what you were mentioning just now is a very good point. I mean, like I see blogs really as the backbone and sort of like a glue of sorts of the internet. Because if you look at like back in the day, how it started off, right? There was no Facebook, there was no social media and stuff. It was just basically blogs, right? A whole bunch of blogs, right? Search engine, no Google, right? There was like Ask Jeeves and like Alta Vista and something, Netscape Navigator, right? And then you'd hit a whole bunch of blogs. So you'd be like, what am I going to search for today? There's no like feed telling you, right? So like it was like this, and I have this nostalgia for that era. It was like blogs, chat, and we're seeing them come back. Like chat has come back, right?
Yes,
Blogs
it has, in a major way.
Exactly. Podcasts have come back. Podcasts is basically radio, right? Podcasts have come back. So I see a return to these classic technologies, the foundation of the internet, the building blocks of the internet. So and blogs, like now, like with social media and stuff like that, like it's the same as building your own house or renting property on someone else's land, right? So you have your own website, you have your own blog, right? You do keywords and stuff like that. You have traffic coming to your site and stuff like that. You do your own content and stuff like that, right? So that's the way I see it. I mean, Khalid?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We started Palindrome because we were on the same page on a lot of different things. And like Ralph said, we are firm believers in having your own individual digital assets owned by you, instead of relying on social media platforms and having to distribute your brand equity towards different social media channels. And you don't really know what's happening with Instagram, Facebook. Something could happen with them at any given moment. So having your own individual assets online is a good way to kind of protect your brand equity and to kind of move things around. So that's something that we're kind of firm believers in. And starting out,
expound on that too, and I'm gonna jump in here too for two reasons, for time and just because what you just said was so critically important, and I want to make sure people understand that. So Khalid just brought up a major point of think of it like the music industry. So the music industry, you may put out a song, but who owns the written content of that song? And if that person who owns the written content of that song were to go, or the distributor decides to do something different, you no longer have music. So what Khalid just said is very important. So if you can expound more on that from a what I'm going to call a digital currency standpoint, so people can really grasp the importance of what you just said?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Like I was gonna say, it kind of coming from where we were from our standpoint, starting out Palindrome, it was kind of a realization of sorts, where basically we started to realize that small businesses were kind of back in the day, they were kind of attempting to build some sort of structure with their blog. And back in the day, especially where we're from, Southeast Asian region, Malaysia, back basically what it was people were kind of trying hard to create content from from their own individual digital assets, from their original digital assets, from their website. But it wasn't really as precise or as accurate or as effective as they wanted it to be, because people hadn't really nailed down basic attributes like SEO,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And slowly, as the market matured, we're seeing more and more of
Mm-hmm.
this kind of knowledge come into play. But that's basically what it is. And with content and having a blog, if you're a business, if you're a small brand, a small business, and you have a blog, it means that you basically you're in a position to kind of, like you said, digital current, like in a way, like to have kind of a position to be
Right. In a
to be
position to potentially get digital currency.
Yeah, and
yeah,
that's where we're coming with the thought leadership and everything. So
Yeah.
we're really big advocates of thought leadership and stuff like that. I mean, that's where, because we both come from branding backgrounds, and then we went into, like Khalid said, he went into SME magazine, and I was with New Straits Times, basically, or one of the biggest newspapers in Malaysia. And so we have, so we went from branding to journalism, right? And so what you can see is like a lot of big brand. Like I'm not anti-social media. We use social media,
Of
right?
course. Absolutely.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, but what we say, I mean, like even if you have, so even if you do run social media, yeah, there are a lot of IG shops, like purely IG based shops and stuff like that, Instagram shops and stuff. But like when you run campaigns to your own site, like it's like funneling them in, like bringing them in, right, to your side of town, right, and then you can keep them there and interact with them and stuff like that.
Mhm. Absolutely. So important. So important. So now help everyone understand, what exactly do you guys bring to the table to help make it easier on others?
Well, basically, I mean, like in our in our experience, and in my experience, I've worked with a lot of small business owners and startup founders and stuff like that. And the way I see it is they tend to fall into two categories. Either they tend to do everything themselves,
Hmm.
or they tend to outsource to some kind of an agency and stuff like that, right? So like and big full service agencies, the Sachis of the world and stuff like that. They, with the big accounts and stuff like that, we saw sort of a gap for the small players, right? And it's like having the founder and the co-founder write their blogs and stuff like that. That's fine, but the way I see it is, if you talk about what people search for and stuff like that, right? And the consistency now with the Google algorithm changes, stuff like that, with the ranking for freshness, and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's an ongoing, consistent thing. How long do you want to sit and write your own blog content, right? So like we help to take over that, so that the business owners can, you know, um, focus on other stuff.
Wow, wonderful. And then how do you, because one of the biggest things that I see, especially when you have a lot of different agencies that have their hands in the melting pot, how do you position yourself in a situation where, because for certain businesses, it's like, hey, I know the words that come out of my mouth are the words that I kind of feel are going to be the best. So how do you position yourself to be able to say, like, your words are good, but wait till we show you what we can do?
Maybe Khalid would like to take this one.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting question, because basically what we do for the most part, in a major kind of way, we collaborate with our clients. Um, it's a given that they are kind of they are the industry expert in whatever industry that they are in. You know what I mean? Like if they're a fintech startup, they obviously know more about their own industry than we do. We are writers. they obviously know a lot more about what their service, what their product can deliver to the market. So we work pretty closely with the client in terms of research, in terms of things like that. And they kind of feed us with necessary knowledge. And what we do is basically we bring in our skills as writers. And this is kind of something that's it's a pretty
Well, that's a differentiator.
Yeah,
right.
and
Yeah.
it's an acquired skill. I mean, like,
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
yeah,
And so
over
I'm
the
going to pop in here really quick because
yeah,
small businesses out there, you may have the ability to be really, really good at whatever it is that you brought to the market in regards to a business. That does not mean, well, and you know that you need a website. You know that you need to be on social media. You know that you need a blog. You for sure need a blog, but you may not be the best writer. So what they're doing is they're stepping in by saying, hey, you do what you do, we do what we do, and together we're going to form a really strong team. So I love it. I love it. And then what do you guys look for in customers to be able to say, these are the individuals that we really work well with?
yeah. I mean, I tend to look out for people who feel that they really need help. That's one.
And then expound on who really need help. So just so people can understand, because people hear the word help and it can go a million different ways.
and
I want to bring it right in.
and they might think that they don't need help, right?
Right, right, right.
Yeah. So I mean, those that basically, I mean, they probably know that they have something to say or that their business stands out in a certain way, but they haven't really been able to articulate it, or they might have the ability to articulate it, but they just don't have the time, right? So these are basically the prospects that I prefer to work with, and I prefer that they have it's preferable to me, like particularly if we deal with maybe with like a big website that does a lot of content. Like there are certain travel websites, or you know, certain businesses where their business is content, right? So like maybe they might be doing like 10 articles a week or 20 articles a week or some very big volume and stuff like that. So I tend to prefer if on the inside they have an editor as well, somebody that I can talk to as well. Yeah.
Bounce things
So
back and forth off of.
exactly. But for those that their business is not content, they just want to have a blog and they just want to maybe do like 4 to 5 or 8 or 10 posts a month, right? For those companies, I tend to look at the founder, him or herself, and see if there's sort of synergy there. Yeah.
Wow, wonderful. I love it. I love it. And then because most business is a very collaborative style business, so how do you guys look to collaborate with others to pretty much, because in the blogging world, I mean, it's huge. It's people don't realize it, but the blogging world is monstrous. The blogging alone is a multi-million-dollar industry with inside of the marketing pillar. That's how big it is. So from a collaboration standpoint, who do you guys like to partner with in order to be able to help not merge, but gel your business along with their business?
That's a pretty interesting question. Like collaboration and specialization, these are two kinds of concepts that we kind of quite heavily believe in.
Of course.
We are also firm believers of specialization. And going back to what Rao said, because of the way that we kind of work, a lot of our clients end up being startups, because startups so perfectly kind of define what works best in terms of synergy, in terms of collaboration between us and our clients, compared to more traditional, older, more conventional corporates. They might not be able to deal with us as well. You know what I mean? So that in terms of collaboration, that as far as it goes, also, within the company itself, we do prefer to have other specialists to work with us. So we consider ourselves specialists in a very hyper-focused area of expertise,
Love it.
which is blogs.
Love it.
Right. We have SEO specialists as well, which we like to work with. Companies have SEO specialists that can help direct us to the special kinds of things, attention to detail that they need with their content, that's how we collaborate, and that's how we specialize.
I love it. So for those individuals out there that look to want to have a one-stop shop where their company will do everything under the sun, and they're also in the smallish space, what words of advice would you have for them?
Sorry, did you mean that they're looking for like a one-stop agency or something that can handle everything under the sun, meaning
I'm talking
design?
about the individuals that may have an agency where they look to say that they are a one-stop shop for everything under the sun. What words of
Oh,
Right.
advice would you give to an individual like that? And so for those that are watching this on the video form, you can see the smiles going on everywhere. Wait till you hear his answer. Wait till you hear his answer. Go ahead, take it away.
well, I don't want to get into any ruffle any feathers, but
No, 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 no,
Khalid
no.
did Khalid did talk about specialization. So we are big advocates of specialization and doing what you know best. And like
That's it.
I mean yeah, it's very common for, like here in Malaysia and stuff like that. They might go like, I'm looking for a social media executive. The person should be able to write copy, do design, look at analytics, and like one of my very early clients, he said the same thing, and I said, dude, these are separate functions,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Looking at analytics is a data science thing, right? Dealing with design is a design thing, right? And dealing with content with copy is a copy thing. And in fact, copywriting and what I call content writing or blog writing, they are two different things also, right? So copywriting is about like more to like what you talk about, like maybe like direct response or a sales letter or something. That like direct response copywriting is about getting somebody to take action now, right?
Mhm.
And so these long pages and stuff like that. So copywriting and what we do, which is blog writing, are two different things. People might
That's right.
bunch them together, but they are two different things. I mean, I know copywriting as well because I come from that background, but we have chosen to focus on this because this is what I feel is required in quantity compared to, like, you might be able to have one sales letter or one landing page with
Right.
copy on it, right? But every month or every
Yep.
week, you're probably going to be needing the blog updated and the consistency is what we are there for, and how we support small businesses.
I love it. And so that's what I love about his response. Very, very good, very political too. Very good job. That lets you know he's been
Democratic.
around a while. And that's why I said wait till you hear his response. Because and it wasn't to be able to take pop shots at other individuals, because that's not
No.
healthy. That doesn't bring any form of energy to any situation. I wanted you guys to hear how he's collaborating with others. He's being able to show you guys, to kind of separate some things out in a very professional, very good way where you can understand that this is a man that's been doing this for a while. So kudos to you and kudos to the company. So what I want to make
Thank
sure
you.
too is in regards to,
Put me on the spot there.
I love it, and what I love about it too, because again, those who watch the blog, audio and now video, everything that I
Yeah.
do is unscripted. I don't like scripts because then you can tell it's not the same. I'd rather it come
Yeah.
off like this because you can feel the energy in the voice because everything is unscripted.
Yeah.
It's okay if there's or if there's a pause in the delay, because then that means you had to think. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a whole nother story. In regards to the United States, because a big portion of the subscribers for my podcast are in the United States. How do you guys work with companies in the United States?
Oh, well, I mean, we have actually had we have actually done business with the US, and basically there are cultural differences, but I don't think it gets in the way. Like,
I don't think so
also
either.
because yeah, like I mean, my brother and I, we actually grew up in we went to international school, so we grew up with many different types of people, right? And so and by now I think we've been doing this business for a long time, so we've dealt with a lot of different types of content and a lot of different types of people. So I don't see it as a problem, and actually I am hoping to work more with companies in the US. as well as companies in other countries. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, and that was the reason why I put that question together, because this is a great opportunity for you guys to kind of be able to see some additional things. Then especially because I'm already thinking of some connections that I have in Australia that I can pretty much just put into your lap and kind of let you guys, just
Cool.
look at that yourself.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
So how would you like individuals to engage with you? Like, is there a particular website you want them to go through, social media pages? Like, where would you like individuals to be able to learn more about your company?
Well, I mean, they can just go over to our website, and I don't know if you're going to be sharing the link in the
Yeah, I'm going to
description.
be sharing links. Yep. So,
Yeah,
so
it's
what's going to happen is in the show notes, I'm going to put the link to their website in the show notes for everyone to go to.
cool, nice. Basically, it's palindromecommunications.com. And we have a Facebook Messenger button there. You can chat with me, or you can just go ahead and make a booking. If you don't want to fill up the booking form, you can just contact me through the Facebook Messenger, and I can help you out.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And how long have you guys been in business?
We've been doing this for quite a number of years. I can't remember exactly, but I think it should be coming up to 5.
Wow.
Coming up, yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah,
Been doing
absolutely.
this for a while.
So from year 1 to year 3, we'll go there first. What were the major hurdles that you had to get over to be able to get to year 5?
Well, I mean,
Definitely one of the I think Raul will agree, one of the big hurdles, I think maybe you can call it temptations, was kind of wanting to diversify away from our focal
Yep.
point, wanting to expand on our services, wanting to expand, eventually wanting to turn into a one-stop shop. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that's kind of an ongoing challenge from year
It's
1 to year 3. It's
so difficult. You have to be
difficult.
so grounded in who you are and what you represent in the marketplace.
deep breaths, deep breaths.
Woo! Small, even not even small, medium-sized businesses is different because you have individuals on the payroll that are experts into particular areas, so they know to stay within inside their niche. Small businesses, avoid the temptation to try to do it all. Just become an so. And here, that the hurdle he just told you. What's another hurdle that you felt that you had to accomplish between year 1 and year 3 to get to year 5?
Let me go with marketing
Okay.
as the second hurdle. Yeah. So like, I mean, you can have the greatest product or service in the world, but if you don't know how to sell it,
You know how to.
then that's
That's right.
yeah. So I mean, we've done trade shows, events, because we're B2B, right? So we deal with businesses, right? So and basically by now I've done it all. Like Khalid has done cold calling, right? We've knocked on doors. We've
Right.
go,
That's the
go,
hunger.
go, go, gone to trade shows and events. Yeah, the hunger, right? And the drive. So it has to be there. And that's why I'm in the trenches with the small businesses, because I've been there. So
They
and
understand that.
yeah. So so that was the other thing. But I think we found some kind of a flow right now. And the way I see it is like it's connected to the first hurdle, which is focus, right?
Right.
So yeah, so when you have that focus and then you determine the pathway, then you can succeed, right?
I love it. I love it. I love it. And that's a wonderful way for us to kind of segue out of this. So with that said, everyone out there, you can hear it. You can hear it in their tone, and you can hear it in the delivery of their message that, first of all, they're passionate about what they're doing. You can also hear that they didn't choose to try to be a one-stop shop because it's like, you know what, we're going to focus on what we do. We're content writers. This is what we do. And because of that, they were able to avoid what happens, because a lot of people may not realize it. It takes about 3 years before you start to really gain traction with the business to be able to get it to the point of being able to do X, Y, and Z with it. So those first 3 years are tough. They're very, very tough. And it takes a lot of focus. It takes a lot of determination to realize that, you know what, I may want to do a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm going to focus on this one thing and I'm going to ride this one thing out. That's why they were able to become successful. I love you guys, man. We're gonna make sure to stay in contact because this was wonderful. And when we have a
Love you
chance
too,
to
man.
have some more time, I want to go a little bit more in depth about a couple of things. So, but for right now, I got to
Awesome.
run. It's been a pleasure meeting you guys.